Moin Moin and welcome to Ralfs Foto-Bude. Yeah, Panasonic announced a new micro four third camera in the G series, and it's a very small, nice camera. That's the DMC-GM1, M for micro or mini, because it's a real small one compared to the GX7 I showed you in my video just before, and compare it to the OMD EM1. So this is the comparison of the size of both cameras, and you see that the GM1 is a real small camera. It's real nice and handy. Yeah, I can compare it also to the Sony RX100 Mark II, because this is a very interesting model with a good picture quality. So, and if you compare both, you see the GM1 is slightly smaller than the Sony. You can see here what makes the GM1 a little bit bigger is the lens. And talking about the lens, together with the GM1, Panasonic brought out a new lens, pancake zoom lens from 12 to 32 millimeter, and it's a real nice small lens. You have to turn the zoom ring to pop it out and to start it. So if you have closed it and start the camera will show you, please rotate the zoom ring to extend the lens. So here you see the back of the camera. It's almost like the other Panasonic cameras, but a little bit less buttons here at the side. No, not so much function buttons like the GX7. I can show you compared with the GX7, you see. But one thing the GM1 has, that's a ring instead of only a four-way button. Here you have a ring, a rotating ring to set the different settings in the menu and for the camera. So that's a real nice function. Yeah, talking about the lenses, sure, you can use all the other lenses from the micro four third system. So also the 14 to 42 millimeter, and for sure you can use the Olympus lenses here, the 12 millimeter lens. I like this one very much. This is a real nice one. But one thing I have to say, there is no integrated picture stabilization system in the camera like in the GX7. The only image stabilizer has to be in the lens. So if you use a lens like the Olympus lens, there is no image stabilization. Also, if you use the 75 millimeter Olympus lens, there is no image stabilization. That's the advantage of the GX7, because the GX7 has the built-in stabilizer. So that's a real nice thing. But you also can use this small, tiny GM1 with this big 100 to 300 millimeter lens, and if you look from the front you won't see the lens. The camera is so small, the lens is so big that you won't see the camera, see from the side. Yes, and it works with this lens, so you have the advantage of the full segment of lenses when you buy this camera, compared to a RX100 where you only has the built-in lens. So that's a real advantage of this camera, and yeah, and it's still very small, and it has all the functions, almost all the functions like in the GX7. So you have the Wi-Fi module inside, you have the different shutters, electronic and mechanical shutter. You have stop motion, and you have almost every feature which is in the GX7 you also have in the GM1. What you don't have is a viewfinder. There is no option for an optical or for an electronic viewfinder. You don't have flash shoes, so you can put a flash on the camera. You have a built-in flash. You see here we have a small button here to open, and then we have the small built-in flash. I will say a little bit more to the flash and the sync time of the flash a little later. But you have all the other things. If you look on the top of the camera, you have the on-off switch, you have the shutter release button, then you have here the switch to change between the different focus settings, autofocus single, autofocus continuous, manual focus. So you just turn the dial and you can change between the different settings. You have the function 1 button, and you have the program dial here for the different program settings. You have PASM, that are the usual settings for program, shutter, aperture and manual setting. You have the mode for the video settings. Then you have C1 and C2 for the custom settings. You have the scene modes. It's absolutely the same except of the panorama function, like the GX7. If you see, we have the clear portrait, silky skin, and so on and so on and so on, and up to the monochrome. And on the GX7 we have here at this point we have the panorama mode, and that's one thing which doesn't have the GM1. There's no panorama mode on the GM1. Yeah, then we have the creative filters, and the creative filters are also exactly the same like in the GX7. It starts here from expressive, retro, old days, high key, low key, dynamic monochrome. We have the new one, the rough monochrome and the silky monochrome, impressive art, high dynamic, toy effect, toy pop, bleach bypass, miniature, soft focus, fantasy, star filter, 1-point color, and we have the sunshine. And again, this is a touchscreen monitor, so you have all the options which you have on the GX7. So you have this small soft keys here on the side. So if you go to the creative soft key, you have the same options. So you can put here the finger on and move the sun. Here you have the dial to change the size of the sun, and then you can set the color of the sun. So you have all the same, exactly the same options. Like in the GX7, you can change aperture and shutter speed, and the touchscreen is exactly the same. It works exactly in the same way like on the GX7. You can set the focus point. You have the you can start the shutter release on the screen, so it's absolutely the same thing. The only thing, it's a fixed monitor, so you can't open it like on the GX7 or on the G6. You see you can move the monitor like this and this, and the one in the GM1 is a fixed monitor. But again, you have the same options in the creative mode. Then you have the intelligent automatic, where you can make the settings, and that's it. Talking about the shutter in the camera, there are two different shutters. That's a mechanical shutter and an electronical shutter. The mechanical shutter, because the camera is so small, is a new construction of Panasonic, and there are two limitations of the mechanical shutter. The first limitation is the fastest shutter speed. The fastest shutter speed with the mechanical shutter is 1/500th of a second, and the sync time for the flash is 1/15th of a second. So you can see this when you go to the menu. So let's have a look to the menu. If you go to the menu, just go up here, we go up. The menu still is a touchscreen menu, so you can use the touchscreen in the menu too. So let's go up to the shutter type. So if you go to the EFC shutter, then you see when I go up to S for shutter speed and then turn the dial, and you will see the fastest speed is 1/500th. So you can't go faster than 1/500th if you use the mechanical shutter. And if you pop out the flash, just like this, you see the shutter time is 1/15th of a second. So these are the two limitations of the mechanical shutter. So let's change to the electronical shutter. Now we are at the electronical shutter, and here you will see the fastest time you can use is up, 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 up. Here we are, one of the 16,000th. That's a very, very fast shutter time. So you can work also in the bright sun with complete open aperture for small depths of field. So that's real nice. You don't have to use any ND filters. You can work in the bright sun with open aperture like f1.8 or 2.0, so that's really nice. One thing in the GX7, you have the limitation in the ISO setting. When you use the electronic shutter, the ISO, the maximum ISO was 3200. If you work with the electronic shutter on the GM1, there's no limitation. You can go here to the ISO setting, and you see you can go up to 25,600. So the sensitivity also is not limited when you use the electronic shutter, not like the GX7 where it is limited at ISO 3200. You can still use the low noise mode, so the camera is absolutely quiet when you're taking pictures. I can show you the difference between the mechanical shutter. Let's the mechanical shutter. Just turn off the. Just give me a second. I turn off the sound of the camera. Now if I use the silent mode, the camera goes directly. If I use the silent mode, the camera goes directly in the electronical shutter. So if you use the electronic shutter, the sound is there's absolutely no sound. Like this, you hear absolutely quiet. So you can make quiet pictures. If you go to a concert or something like that, the camera is so small, so even in concert where it's not allowed to take cameras with you, I think you will get the camera in, because most of the guys will think it's a compact camera. So it's not a compact, it's a real good micro four third camera with interchangeable lens. So again, 16 megapixel sensor like the GX7. So it's a real nice small camera. Talking about the video function, if you go to the video function, you have the manual video options where you can change the different video settings. In the menu, we have just go up to the video mode. So let's see, we have the different styles, we have the different rec formats, again AV, CHD and MP4, but there's a small limitation. The limitation is in the recording quality. If you go to the recording quality, you only can go up to full HD 1920 to 1080, but only to 50i. So there's no option for 50p, and in 50i it goes up to 17 megabits per second. And you have the next one that's I think this is not correct in the menu, because I think this means no, it's correct in the menu. It says the sensor output is 25 full frames per second with 24 megabits per second, but it's also 50i, and in this one you have 50p but only with 17 megabits per second. So that's a little bit confusing. Which one is better? I have to try, but this is a pre-series model, so I think the picture quality is not in the final state, so I can't check this completely. And then you have the 24p for the movie mode. It's like the old-fashioned movies, and it goes up to 24 megabits per second. So that's a little bit difference between this camera and the GX7, because the GX7 goes up to 50p in full HD resolution, and this is a little bit less, but I think it's okay for the small camera, and I think the picture quality will be good enough. Then you have the different picture modes. As I said before, you can change between P, A, S and M mode, so you can set up the video individual with your aperture and shutter speed. You have the sensitivity. It goes up to 3200. It's limited to 3200. Then you have the metering mode, eye dynamic, eye resolution. These are the usual things in the video mode settings. So let's have a look again in the menu, so you can compare, and I show you which settings are in the menu. I give you a quick overview for the different settings, so you can see you have here the different functions buttons. As I said before, FN button is here on the top, and then you have the soft buttons FN 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. You can individualize them in the menu. Again, the same like in the GX7. So let's have a short look at the recording menu. In the recording menu you have the photo styles, and here again you have the individual settings in the photo styles. And if you go to monochrome, in the monochrome setting you have contrast, sharpness, saturation, and then you have noise reduction, and you have the filter effects. And here we have the different filter effects going from yellow, orange, red and green. So you can set up the different settings for like landscape or green for portrait. And if you go up to the saturation, you can go to blue mode, and you can go to the sepia mode. So that's really nice, because you can individualize this, and for sure you can individualize this in all the other settings, but there you have then the contrast, sharpness, saturation and noise reduction. So that's really nice, because you have the full functions in this in the photo style. Then you have the aspect ratio, picture size, quality. For sure, it's not worth to show, but I show you to complete it. You have the raw mode, then sensitivity. I said before, sensitivity goes down to goes up to 25,600, and also like in the GX7 goes down to 125. Okay, so let's go back to the menu. Then we have the metering mode, the different as usual. Then we have burst rates. Again, we have super high, high, medium and low. Then auto bracketing, self timer, eye dynamic. We have the eye resolution. Then HDR, multi-exposure, time-lapse, stop animation, the different shutter modes, red eye removal, ISO limit, ISO increments, shading compensation for the lens, digital zoom, color space, stabilizer. As I said, you have the stabilizer only in the lens. There's no stabilizer in the camera, so you have to use a lens like this one. This is the Mega OES lens, so there's the stabilizer built in the lens, and then you have the stabilization, face recognition, and that's it. The video mode I showed you before, the video menu I showed you before. So let's go to the custom menu. Then we have the silent mode, where the camera goes to the electronic shutter and shut off all the noise of the camera. You have the AFAE lock, the half press release. If you want the shortest lag while shooting, just go put this to on, and if you put it to on, you don't have the press the shutter halfway down to usually you press the shutter halfway down to focus and to meter, and in this mode you only press the shutter very light, so there's no halfway down. If you go halfway down, the camera releases immediately. So that's if you want to have a real short lag between seeing your scene and release the shutter. So then we have the AFS, the different focus modes, AFS and AFF, where the camera detects automatically if there's something moving in this scene. Then you can use the automatic mode. Next point is the quick AF, pinpoint AF time, pinpoint AF display for the manual things, AF assist lamp, this is in front of the camera there, there's the small AF assist lamp. Then you have the focus or release priority, where you can change between focus or release priority. If you want to make a picture for sure, then you have the release priority. Then it can happen that the camera didn't get the autofocus on the point, and if you have the focus priority, the camera only releases if the focus is perfect on the point, and then the camera releases. So you can change between these settings. You have AF MF mode, you have the MF assistant, MF guide, you have the peaking function, where you can set the different peaking colors and the detect level of the peaking. You have a histogram guideline, where you can choose between 3 different guidelines. Real nice is this guideline, because in this guideline you can move the guidelines on a place where you want. You can make the golden cut like this. So that's a very nice function for making real nice pictures with a golden cut. Just turn this one off. Then I have the highlight, constant preview, exposure meter, dial guide, recording area. You have the function settings, the function button settings, like I said before, on top function number 1, function button 1, and the 4 soft function buttons on the screen. Let's go back to the menu. Then you have the quick menu. It's exactly the same like in the GX7. You have the preset quick menu. That's the quick menu. It looks like this. You have on the top and on the row the most important functions, and you just can work with the dial to change it, or you can use the 4-way switch to change it, or much easier, just use your finger to change the different settings. So that's the easiest way. And you have, and that's what I show you now, you have the custom settings of the quick menu. If you go to custom, then you have the quick menu in a row. It's not on top or on bottom, but you have the quick menu here on a row, and you can change it again, like just by turning the wheel and then put the finger on the point you want, and that's it. And you can customize this one. Just go to the small sign here on the bottom, and then you see that's the way it works. You have down here, you have the options. There's a field free, and if you want to put a quick function in this field, just put your finger on the quick function, move it down to the free field, and that's it. And then you have set your quick menu individually, so you can decide which function you want in the quick menu, and can change the order of the quick menu setting. So it's very nice. So you can customize your quick menu very easy just by moving the most important functions down in the row. Then you have the video button. You can turn on and off the video button, so you can't turn on the video accidentally by just putting a finger on it. Then you have the different touch settings. What you don't have, because there's no electronic viewfinder, the touchpad AF, because the touchpad AF there you need a viewfinder, so for sure the GM1 doesn't have this one. Yeah, and that's it. And in the setup menu, you have the usual things like language and so on, version, reset, all the stuff, and sensor cleaning. So here are no points you don't know. you should know all the points from the GX7. That's almost the same. And if you go to the Wi-Fi, here you see we have the Wi-Fi functions, and it's also exactly the same: remote shooting, playback on TV, send image while recording, and send image stored in the camera. So the Wi-Fi functions are also exactly the same. You can you have a real nice remote function where you can change all the settings of the camera, and you can change the ISO setting, the picture style, and so on and so on. It's a real good function. But what I like most is the point send image while recording, because that's very nice. You can make a picture, and in the background the camera sends the picture to your iPad, iPhone, or other mobile device, or even to your computer if you're on the Wi-Fi net at home. So that's real nice. It's a real nice function because you don't have to change between recording and sending over Wi-Fi. The camera does it in the background, so you can pictures, shooting, and the camera does the work in the background. Send the pictures to your smartphone, and after a while you have all the pictures on your smartphone or your mobile device. And it's even good if you make like a macro photo and have set the camera to a tripod. You can set the camera for the scene, for the flower or something else. You shoot, and then immediately after 1-2 seconds you have the picture on your iPad, and you can control it on a real big screen and can look if the sharpness is perfect on the right point. So it's very nice if you go outdoor, or if you shoot indoor still life photography from a tripod. You don't have to move the card outside of the camera or go in the Wi-Fi mode after shooting. It's in the background, the camera sends the picture in the background. Yeah, so these are the most important and interesting functions of the GM1. For me, it's a very nice camera. It's so small, and it has such a real functionality. It has all the functions of the GX7 except for the built-in stabilizer, and except for the viewfinder for sure. No external flash shoe, that's also a point. But all the other stuff is completely exactly the same. Even the picture quality the same of the GX7. And this for such a small camera. What I like very much is using from Olympus. That's the lens cap, because if you use the lens cap, you see the camera is real small, and it fits in your pocket. You can take it anywhere. Okay, the quality of the lens cap is not so good, but it's a nice thing for point and shoot photography. It gives you a nice look of the pictures, and it's a real nice combination for just put the camera in your pocket and take it all the time with you. Yeah, so this is the brand new Panasonic GM1. It should come in end of October, I think, beginning of November. It comes with the brand new pancake zoom lens from 12 to 32 millimeter. I think it's a real nice camera. I like it very much because of the size and of the lightweight. It's a very lightweight camera, and if I compare it to a Sony RX100 Mark II, I think I would prefer this one because the sensor is a little bit bigger. It's a little bit more picture quality, and you have the interchangeable lens. You can go to macro mode, you can go to wide angle, you can go to telephoto lenses. So you have all the stuff. Even if you want, you can use the 75mm Olympus lens. So you have a real variety of lenses you can use, but you have a small basic camera with a small lens which fits in your pocket, and you have a real nice variety of focal lengths even with this combination. I hope you enjoyed my review of the Panasonic GM1, and I hope it gives you a little bit help to deciding if this camera is right for you and if this camera is fits your needs perfect. I will make a little bit more movies later on to the camera and to the GX7 to show you some of the features, like how you work in manual focus, how you work perfect in autofocus system, and what you can do with the different settings in the camera. Thanks for today. Come back in the next days. I will show you some more very interesting cameras. Thanks for watching me. Until now, I say have fun for taking pictures, and bye bye and moin moin.